What's up, YouTube? It's your boy Nash here. Welcome back to the channel. Now I know what you guys are thinking. You're thinking, why are you filming on a Saturday? Well, it is actually that time once again. Ban list predictions. Yes, we are getting closer as we draw closer and closer to the next ban list, which apparently will be no sooner than July 1st, which is obviously the beginning of the month. There are a few decks that have completely changed the meta. With Lightning Overdrive now in the books, and with the new Egyptian God structure decks now in the books, there are several decks that have slowly creeped its way back into the meta. Spriggans is one of them. S-Force, Zodiac is still going strong, mixed in obviously with Tri-Brigade. Drytrons is still pretty good. Dinos are still pretty good. What else can I think of? I know that Dragonlings are still pretty decent. I think they went down from like tier 1 to tier 3, I think, in the meta. But there are a few cards that I feel like should take a hit, or rather a few decks that I feel like should take a hit on the ban list, because for one, there are some cards in those decks that are just absolutely broken, and they've become the newer version of cards that had already took a hit on the ban list. And another thing is that just by looking at the cards that are banned, I feel like as if there are a few cards that should be taken off, just because they're not being used, just because they won't really do much to the meta. But I feel like as if with those with those cards off the ban list, I mean, it wouldn't really do anything to the meta. But let's get straight into it. So the last ban list that we got was actually back in March. Was back on March 15th early of this year, and the cards that got banned, I think there were only like 3. Yeah, there were only 3 cards that got banned: Union Carrier, Utopic Zexal, and VFD, True King of All Calamities. Union Carrier, because of the fact that it was used in it was one of the key combo pieces for the Buster Lock, which obviously, if you guys don't know, the Buster Lock pretty much locks your opponent out of summoning monsters from the extra deck, whether they're fusions, whether they're synchros, exceeds, pendulums if they were sent to the extra deck, even links. It locks them out of summoning from the extra deck. Utopic Zexal was one of the main pieces for the Numeron engine, and with Zexal and with Utopic Zexal now banned, the Numeron engine it's still viable, but it's not as broken as people think. Because instead of using Utopic Zexal, the second best option would obviously be Utopic Future or Utopic Future Slash. And then of course True King of All Calamities. It just stops your opponent from playing any form of Yu-Gi-Oh, no matter what it is. So that was like the big reason for it. Now the cards that got limited, I think this was the only one. Yeah, the only card that got limited was Cyber Angel Benton, was only because of Drytrons. Because with Drytrons have been released, what was it? I can't think of the set now. Not Ancient Guardians, but the last one that we got, I can't think of it. But Drytrons had become such a crazy tier 1 deck, with Cyber Angel Benton at 3, but with it now limited to 1, the deck is still viable, but it's not as powerful as it is, as it was when Benton was at 3. Plus, truth be told, Benton was only played at 1 in the deck as far as I remember. So it really wouldn't have mattered. Nothing was taken off the semi-limited list. Obviously, the only card that's on the semi-limited list is obviously Destiny Hero Malicious because, well, we all know why. As far as the cards that got taken off the list, Dragon Buster Destruction Sword. This was one of the main pieces for the Buster lock. Firewall Dragon, obviously because of the fact that it was getting an errata, and it was going to be allowed in tournament play in only Cyber decks. So Marine Set, Salmon Gray, just to name a couple decks. Phantom Knights, Rusty Bardies. That was an interesting card to take off the list. DeLorean, Tiger King, the Ice Barrier got taken off the list. Ignis of Prominence, Rank Up Magic, Argent Chaos Force, which is another good one, and True King's Return. Now, I want to show you guys really quickly the OCG ban list. The OCG ban list is kind of interesting. Hang on, guys. I'm actually gonna I'm actually gonna have to search. If I remember correctly, in the OCG, I believe they had Firewall banned. If I remember right. Let me take a look. Hang on. Let's see if I can. I have to search all the way. Literally, I have to go all the way back. Sorry, guys. I apologize if this is taking forever. My laptop is being stupid, that's all. Here we are. OCG limit regulations for July 2021. So, as far as the OCG ban list, the cards that got... The only card that got hit was Zodiac Dryden. Now, Dryden is an interesting card because it's one of the main pieces of, that you needed to go into Zeus. So, for Dryden to get hit, that is huge. That is huge. The cards that got limited, nothing changed. As far as the cards that got semi-limited, Pendulum Call, Fire Formation Taking, and Side Frame Gear Gamma. And then the cards that got taken off the list are Mathematician, Wind-Up Magician, Union Hanger, and Firewall Dragon. Obviously because of the fact that with Firewall had getting an errata, that doesn't surprise me. But as far... Here's my thoughts on on cards I think should be taken off the list from the cards that are banned. Honestly, I feel like honestly, just by looking at the cards that are hit, honestly, I think I feel like maybe number 95, Galaxy Eyes Dark Matter Dragon should be taken off because Dark Matter Dragon has a unique effect. I'm actually going to have it with me. Hang on. I actually have a couple copies in my binder. I actually have it in here with me. Let me find it. Here we are. So, here's my copy. And the effect reads as follows. You can also exceed summon this card using a Galaxy Eyes monster you control as the exceeds material. Obviously, the materials attached to the monster also become materials for him. Cannot be used as Exceeds material for an Exceeds summon. When this card is Exceeds summoned, you can send 3 dragons dragons with different names from your deck to the grave. So it's basically a triple Fulge Burial. Your opponent banishes 3 monsters from from their deck. You can detach a material from this card. This card can make up to 2 attacks on monsters during each battle phase this turn. So, I feel like as if now with Dragon Lane's not with. I feel like because here's the thing. Thunder Dragon was one of the main was the deck that was abusing this card, and with Colossus banned, there's no point in keeping Dark Matter Dragon banned by putting it to 1. I feel like as if it would really give pure dragon based decks a bit of an edge, because there are some dragons that have effects in the graveyard, like obviously Nebula Dragon is one, Galactic Spiral Dragon, I think, was it Afterglow? No. There's a few. So I feel like Dark Matter Dragon should be taken off. As far as everything else, I don't know. Maybe Fiber Jar. Maybe Fiber Jar should be taken off, because with Fiber Jar, not only, I don't know. Maybe because with Fiber Jar, it basically just resets the whole field. Not only does it reset the cards that are in your graveyard, it resets the board, and I believe it also focuses on cards that are banished, doesn't it? If I remember right. Let me take a look. Excuse me. Hang on a second, guys. Hang on 1 second. Let me actually look it up. Each player shuffles all cards from their hand, field, and graveyard into the deck, and then draw 5 cards. Okay, yeah, so it doesn't really do anything to. It doesn't touch the cards that are banished. So I feel like as if a card like that could really not only reset the field, but reset the cards that are in your hand and in the graveyard, because by pitting this against Dragon Links, and even also Drytrons, it would make things a little more harder for those decks to combo off, especially if you have the cards that you have that you need in your new hand to stop your opponent from comboing off. So maybe put this to 1. But as far as like cards that are limited that should be taken off, I don't know. I don't know. That's kind of a hard one. Honestly, I think Call by the Grave needs to go back up to 3, because this card, putting this at 1 made no sense. It made no sense at all to put this card at 1, because the card stops hand traps. Why would you want to put this to 1? You could have just left it alone, and we would be okay. So Call by the Grave to 3. I don't know. Maybe. I don't know, maybe, I don't know, I think those are just the only cards I feel like should, I feel like that's like the only card that should go to 3, maybe Foolish Burial, I don't know, I don't know, that's kind of a hard one, but as far as cards that need to get hit, easily has to be Mystic Mind. Mystic Mind is one of the big cards that needs to get hit, because it's Mystic Mind. Putting this with mixing this with a bunch of with Exodia decks, burn decks. It's a cancer. Another one that should also be taken, that should be hit, is obviously Sacred Tree Beast, which is basically another form of VFD. It just locks your opponent from playing any form of Yu-Gi-Oh. Another deck but one of the big decks I feel like should take a hit is obviously Drytrons, and Drytrons are just absolutely insane. They're absolutely insane, and I think Cyber Angel Benton needs to get banned, because with Benton banned, this would completely destroy Drytrons. This would put Drytrons in a position where they can only combo off, halfway, maybe even 25% of the way, and then it would take them at least a few turns. It would take them at least a few turns to combo off fully and get their boards off and get their boards done easily. So I could definitely see Benton going banned. There was another one that I wouldn't mind see get hit. I think it was because I know that we have the Ogdoadic deck. We've got the Sulfur archetype, and also the Ursardic archetype as well. Those decks, they're fine the way they are. I don't really think they're gonna be touched, honestly, which wouldn't surprise me. But I think Dragon Buster needs to get banned again, because the card is just too cancerous. Locking your opponent out of summoning from the extra deck is just absurd. So that card needs to get hit. And I would have to say, as crazy as this may sound, as crazy as this may sound, I would not mind seeing what's that one? I can't think of it, honestly. I would not mind seeing Snake Rain get hit as well, because Snake Rain, it's basically a Fool's Burial times 4. It's a Fool's Burial times 4 because you're pitching a card for cost, and you're sending 3 reptiles from your deck to your graveyard. That's 4. That's 4 cards being sent to the graveyard, which would not only set up for the Ogdoadic Boss Monster, but also if you're able to incorporate Phenomenon and Phenomenaga in the deck, it sets you up for those 2 cards to be summoned to the field. So honestly, again, I really don't see any. Honestly, with this ban list coming up, I really don't see anything happening. I really don't see that much happening, but I feel like those are just some of the cards that I feel like should be taken off the list and be put on the list, which obviously would give the meta a little bit of extra leeway for the next few sets coming out, which are obviously King's Court. We've got King's Court coming up. We've got Dawn of Majesty coming up. We've got the Tins coming up. I think we also have as well. We have the new Brothers of Legend. I don't know why they named it that. We've got Hidden Arsenal Chapter 1 coming up as well, and even also Maximum Gold El Dorado, which I'll be talking about that in Tuesday's video. So, but guys, that is going to do it for this video. Let me know in the comments below your predictions. What cards do you want to see get hit on the ban list? Let me know in the comments below. And that is going to do it for this video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. If you did, make sure you guys smash that thumbs up button if you guys are new to the channel and you guys want more ban list predictions in the future. Make sure you guys subscribe to the channel and hit that notification bell so you guys do not miss out on any new content that comes your way. And be sure to follow me on Twitter and Instagram. All the links will be down in the description. And if you guys have fan mail that you want to send me and want me to open up on the channel, my address will also be in the description as well. And on that, this is your boy Nash, signing out.